All right. So, will I go to hell if I celebrate Halloween?
Will you go to hell
Yeah.
if you celebrate Halloween?
Yeah.
Okay. Just big answer, like big picture answer, just for the practice of Halloween, are you going to hell? No.
Okay.
Okay.
But what if I wanted to?
But
Right?
you want to go to hell?
No, there's some people that celebrate Halloween that want to.
Oh, that want to go to hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, well then, I mean, that's unfortunate. But I'm saying for believers.
Okay.
For believers. Okay, but I'm saying no, but I need to qualify that.
Okay.
Because if, and I'm not saying that if because going to hell's a big leap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a move. Like that's a move to go from believer to, oh no, I participated in Halloween, now I'm going to hell. Okay. But here's what I would say, that if
this is the hardest you've ever had answering this question.
I know, but here's what I'm going to say on this isn't like hell. Maybe I shouldn't move it as a hell issue, but make it as a sin issue. Okay? On a couple of different levels. Number one, that if you're participating in things that you know are darkness, that you know are occult practices, and you participate in them anyway just because, well, it's Halloween, so everybody else does, or you dress in a way that's provocative because, well, it's Halloween and that's what everybody else does. Like, no, like that's not okay, right? Like, like that's sin.
It's not an excuse to be sinny.
Yeah, correct. It's just not an excuse to go out and sin because, well, it's Halloween, right? Like that makes no sense. And then the same thing,
but it's Halloween.
But it's Halloween. I know, but the same thing, like where it's in Romans, where it speaks about the fact that if anything that is not done by faith is sin. Anything that's not faith is sin.
Okay.
So anything that I do that's not in faith is sin. And so if you're doing something that's not in faith, that is sin. And so I'm not going to sit here and so I'm kind of pulling back, like the act of participating in Halloween, dressing up, having fun, is that going to send you to hell? No. But you do need to know what sin is and what sin is not. Okay. Right? Like, know those lines and don't excuse sinful behaviors just because it's Halloween. Like that would just make no sense at all.
Okay.
To me, but more in particular to the Lord. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it?
I mean, I don't know if I have any more qualifiers than that. So,
okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, I do have one more qualifier.
Okay.
They have one more.
It seemed very short.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me have one more qualifier. Is that you know the people that are around you. And if you know that someone has recently gotten saved and they have come out of like occult practices or Wiccan or something like that, and now they view Halloween as something they need to stay away from Halloween with them.
Okay.
Like, this is going back to not being a stumbling block to your brother and sister in Christ.
Okay.
And so I think that is something to be mindful of.
Those people understand that American commercial Halloween is not what they were doing?
I mean,
wouldn't they get it? They probably get it more than I do.
Yeah, but I think they also know depths of the demonic that are happening on Halloween that we're not aware of.
So why would that be a stumbling block for them?
Because I think they'd
be able to tell us.
Yeah, but they would have a hard time untangling that. In other words, like to celebrate Halloween to them is going to, and I could be wrong. You're right. But I think for some that it could be like an issue for them of them going, no. But on Halloween, we prayed for curses on you. We cursed Christians. We cursed, this is what Halloween is. On Halloween, we worship the devil. On Halloween, we entertained evil spirits. This is what Halloween is. And so for them to say, oh, we're going to go celebrate Halloween, and it's just not a big deal. They might go, well, you might think it's not a big deal. What you're doing is not a big deal. But what we know it is, from their perspective, that's a big deal. Okay. And therefore, we cannot be okay with that.
It just feels different than like smoking or drinking in front of somebody.
I don't think it is, though.
But,
I think
it's not like.
Well, I will say this then.
If I trick or treat in front of someone that used to be in the in an
Right. So maybe the question is, or not the question, but maybe the thing to do is to ask them,
okay.
what do you think about Halloween? What do you think about people who go and
I feel like they could tell us more than we know.
right? So what do you think about going and trick or treating?
Okay.
You know, what do you think about people who go do that? Like, ask them those questions because we haven't really talked about it. To be honest with you, like there is we've alluded to it, but there is a dark, demonic, satanic underbelly of Halloween that exists now, and so it's not to scare off everybody.
It always existed.
Yeah, or always existed. And so it's not to scare off everybody from doing Halloween or participating in Halloween, but it is a reality and it is there. Okay. And so I do think we need to be cognizant of that, and especially for people that are coming out of that into Christianity, they may need still to have a very hard break from anything that's associated with quote unquote Halloween.